Okay, and I'm back again today, and we got a little bit of a warmer day here. So I've got the heat running in here, and I'm going to attempt to start with this rear differential on this ATV. A lot of people don't realize that these rear differentials, it is really common for the rear boots to get ripped and to get moisture and to dry out all the grease in the rear end. These ATVs, from what I understand reading, are known for having you'll hear some pops and some kinks coming out of the rear end, and you'll be like, what the hell is that? Well, your grease may be all dried up, or you actually have worn out bearings on the inside of it. So what we're going to do is, this is probably going to be more than a one-part series on doing the rear diff, because there's so much to it. I actually had to watch another person's video on rebuilding this. I think the guy is an actual Polaris mechanic, so that was a great video. I'll try to put the links below. But there will also be a sprocket and chain video and a rear brake video once I get done with all the brakes. I'll throw the rear brakes in with the front brakes, and then for the chain, I will go ahead and do a sprocket installation and chain installation video, and not make this part of this rear diff video, or it's just going to go completely forever. So I'll go ahead and cut this video into a couple different parts for the rear diff, and then, like I said, just check the links below. And I'll, after this series is done, I'll create a playlist. So if you go into my YouTube videos, you can click on my playlist, and it'll be the entire build of this four-wheeler. So yeah, the rear diff is completely wore out. The grease is all dried up. All the rubber on the to protect it to protect the grease is all ripped apart on this quad. Love how the dealer told me over the phone, oh, this thing's good to go. It's been in the shop. It's been maintenance. This thing has had the worst maintenance ever. So yeah. Let's get into this. Engine runs. Now we need to get to the basis of getting everything ready to get it back on the off-road, and so I don't run into any problems. Okay, so hey, how you doing? So what we have here is you have your this is basically your plastic cover and your case saver, and then you've got one bolt on the back of here, and there's one bolt going into the clutch slave cylinder. You'll want to keep these bolts. I've got to rebuild that slave cylinder, and I know that they come with new bolts, so but we'll just set these aside. Now, I've actually located the master link here, and I've sprayed it down with WD-40, but this thing is so rusted I might either have to heat it up or break the chain. Hopefully I can just get the master link off of it, and it did. It just came right off. So we'll go ahead and press those rivets out, hopefully not have to get my chain breaker tool, but it looks like I'm gonna have to. So I will say, I bought a few of these chain breakers from other manufacturers before, and this is one of the best ones that I've bought for the price. It's really easy to put together and to use. You basically want to put the tip in here. The only thing that this did not come with was the piece to drive the chain breaker rod into the link, so I kind of just have to use a screwdriver. But this kit is built way better than the majority of the stuff that I've ever used. We'll just get the chain breaker set up here on the rivet that we're going to push out. Great. Now we'll remove the rivet. I'll just push, man, it's rusted. Oh my, probably should have put some heat to it. Man, that's tight. Usually these master links, they'll just come out of there, but this four-wheeler has seen so much water. This thing, I can't believe how stubborn this is. Ought to be about out of there. There it goes. Okay. It's out of there. We'll get the pull the chain off. And then with the quad in neutral and not in gear, we'll just pull this chain off here. Actually, I bought a universal chain, so we'll count the links off this old chain and just match it to that, and then set our tension when we reinstall this all back together. And boom, there's our rusty ass chain. Woo! Okay, one thing that I really like to do is when I'm working on something, I like to try to keep everything about as clean as possible. Once you use a tool, go ahead and take the 10 seconds it takes and put the tool back up. Things just stay more organized and a lot smoother when you're working on stuff. One other little tip here, and we'll get back to the chain and sprocket. If you have one of these, any of these chain breaker tools, and I seize the threads of the actual tool that you're going to be twisting down, you're going to be putting a lot of force on that if you have to break a chain that doesn't have a master link. So just a little tip for you, make things a little easier on yourself. Okay, so with the rear sprocket here, this tire is going to end up coming off anyway when we do the differential, so I'll try to make this about as easy as possible. But you actually have little safety brackets that you need to bend out with a, you're going to need a punch, a flat punch, and a hammer. So before we can remove the bolts, we'll have to move those, and those are in there so so the bolts don't turn out. Just make sure when you reinstall the other sprocket that you put those back on. They're there for a reason, because the last thing you want is your chain coming off of this thing while you're riding it. So we'll go ahead and take the punch and the hammer and get those punched out. So what you're going to do is you're going to, as you can see, the tabs on the nut here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to bend those back so we can access the nut. And you want to do this while the four-wheeler has its tires down and not up in the air, because otherwise this will move. The longer the punch, kind of the better. And we're probably going to have to, when I jack the four-wheeler up, get to these other bottom two. Not real sure if I can get to these. No, I'm not going to be able to hammer these out. Really just need to come out to where you can get a socket on that. On that nut. I don't know if I can get to that bottom one. Ugh. Well, I got a little room. I can move this forward. I think I can get to that. I'll tell you, if I end up with a Chinese infected mouse in my house, oh my God. Probably gonna sue Harbor Freight. I want to talk about an invasive species here. I mean, at the rear diff instead of the frame here. Yeah, the back end's moving up or not. Yeah, it is. I'll tell you, this weather, it zaps me for productivity. There's a reason why all those CrossFitters from Iceland go to California. Because when they live in Iceland, they can't do what they need to do every single day and keep themselves in shape. So they move to America, to the best, nicest place in the world, California weather. And won't be doing this by hand again. Way too much energy. And that rear brake has got 2 bleeder screws on it. Oh my God. Why does Polaris do this? Okay, so we got it jacked up enough. This thing ain't going nowhere. I don't know if I'm going to use these Nerf bars or not. They work for what they need to be used for, but they do get caught on terrain as well if you're going big off-road. Go ahead and hit the sprocket nuts with WD-40 or penetrating oil just to loosen. You do not want to have to go through this more than once. Oh, then you want to remove your tires. These aren't even tight. These aren't even tight on the wheel. And I measured them out, and there's two different sizes on here. There's a 14, which is what it's supposed to be, and a 15. And these are, you know, I don't know if this was supposed to come with aluminum wheels, but I've got steel on there. Just remove the tire. Now it may want to wibble wobble over that way a little bit, but nope. Okay. Now we've got a cotter pin in here. Hell, I might end up just breaking this just to get it out of here. Appears that this is a 27. It's actually a common size for those. It might be a 26. Let's see if we can get it off here with a 27. That battery's shot. Oh my God, the winter has killed these batteries. Okay, and it appears that we've got a 15 and 15 millimeter nut on top, and we've got a 15 and a 17. So this rear hub bearing, we might end up replacing. I don't know yet. So, because if I'm this far into it, I might as well replace it, because I really don't want to ever have to take these apart again. Actually, we'll leave that one in there. We will remove the bottom one here. Oh, that bearing. Oh my God, I'm going to end up replacing these. These bearings are... God, this guy, I cannot stand being lied to over the phone just so they can make a goddamn sale. Oh, that's got a That's got a sleeve in it. These bearings, they're shot. They should freely move. I mean, they move, but they don't move very well. If I'm this far into it, I'm going to end up having to order them. So we'll just I don't know what we're going to do. Well, this just got delayed big time. So I'm going to end up ordering bearings. It's going to be another week or two until I can get them in. Will give me time. Magically, I just bought that shop press that's full of Chinese mice. So this four-wheeler is going to be apart for a while. When you tap this out, just tap this out very carefully. I think these are aluminum parts. And you've got 2 rubber seals here as well. You don't want to tear those up if you don't have to. I mean, I technically could put this back together and say screw it, but it won't be done right. I mean, it's still got some life in it, but just need to replace them. Now we are going to pull these sprocket nuts off. Now that we have all this, got these boots. I got to show you these boots. Look how ripped those boots are. I don't know if you could see that. Look at that. Oh my God. What? You'll want to anti-seize those bolts as well when you reinstall. I mean that is a lot of work for a rear sprocket, but you know, we're working with this independent rear suspension. We're not working with a swing arm. Voila. We're just going to remove this other wheel and disassemble this other side like we did the other side. I'm not real sure if I'm going to end up pulling the differential housing and cleaning it or not. But when you're this far into it, you might as well go the extra mile. Okay.